Hey, there we go. We're back to being live. Yeah, PC crash. Had to reboot it. Don't know why. Don't know how. Womp womp. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Shit. Well, I guess we'll continue from where we left off.
To stop it, it will continue. And then what the sad fact is, it could happen at a time when he's not ready to even deal with it because he's at a night out and then he looks like a complete jackass. You're a world leader. It's time to start acting like it, right? I don't care if you have a daughter who likes Taylor Swift. Do your job, because the truth is, here's the truth. If that riot broke out and immediately a team that was dealt or trained and to handle this and deal with it swept in and took all those people and slammed them on the pavement and arrested all of them and rushed them right off to prison, do you think people would have cared if Justin Trudeau was dancing at the Taylor Swift concert? So why isn't that in place? Oh, because he's liberal.
There is. Just like in America, you have the riot police. Or you have SWAT. Or you have special federal programs and agencies that do all this shit. DSP, do you think what do you think Justin Trudeau as a prime minister does? Yeah, hire the SWAT cats to take care of it. The city of Montreal is the responsibility of Montreal. Let's see, who is the mayor of Montreal? Incumbent Valérie Plante. So why didn't Valérie call in a SWAT or riot police? We're back to being live. Hi, Harry. Yes, this is live. Why didn't the mayor of Montreal do anything? Again, back in 94, when you had the Vancouver riots, when they lost the Stanley Cup, you know what they had to do? They had to call in American riot police, an American SWAT to help them out, because they weren't prepared for it. They had never done anything like it before. They'd never seen anything like it. And I love in the article that he read, guys, no lie, they set a single mannequin on fire. How terrible. They set a mannequin on fire, guys. Can you imagine setting a mannequin on fire? How horrible that is? Okay, and it was literally a single mannequin. The fuck do I care that they set a single mannequin on fire? Ooh, big scary thing. They set a mannequin on fire. How dare they?
So, because he's liberal, that just means crime's allowed to happen. Oh, I see. Harsh words, no action, pretty weak-minded leadership leads to strong, harsh criticism. And we just saw a huge shift in our cultural philosophy and our government in this last election here in the United States. If Justin Trudeau is not careful, he might be the next wave of change that's going to sweep these people right the hell out of power in Canada. And it's going to be his fault because he has the opportunity to do something now and be proactive, but instead he's not. So fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. People learn from experience.
Yes,
if
DSP to a T.
In this situation, he is going to find himself voted out of power, and that's going to be the end of this liberal control over Canada, just like it just ended here in the United States. Okay. All right.
Now remember, DSP isn't a liberal or a conservative. He doesn't like Trump. He just thinks if you're liberal, you should be taken out back and shot. But he's not a Republican, guys. He doesn't worship Donald Trump. He doesn't even like Donald Trump. He just agrees with everything Donald Trump says and does. It's a total coincidence, guys.
Well, thank you for watching. We're now at the
halfway point. Even though Donald Trump would fucking hate his guts.
I'm going to do a few more shout-outs.
You know if they ever met in person, Donald Trump would hate his fucking guts. Which would be hilarious.
First of all, thank you to Darkside Pimp who gifted a sub, and I believe it was Busty Phil who gifted a sub. So there's 2 more subs that were gifted here tonight. Darkside Pimp is now up to 7. So that's another $10 in support, which means we're a third of the way to our goal. And again, guys, if you like the political stuff, please support it either with a sub, a gifted sub, or a tip. A tip is a way that you can contribute that has nothing to do with Kick, okay? In fact, speaking of which,
nice burp.
I received a $2 tip. Are you going to touch the invasion of Syria by rebels that's happening right now? No, because I'm not psychic, and I don't have omnipotent powers that can cover something that's literally happening right now. What I will do is over the course of the next week, I will take a look at that. I'll see if I can
go
figure
rebels.
It out. Want to talk about it next week? We can, but if it's happening now, how could I possibly be covering it?
I don't know. How are the news channels covering it right now? How are bloggers online covering it right now? How are people, like, going there and, doing it live, covering it, DSP? I can't imagine. What special powers must it take to cover a news event as it happens live? Let's see, what was it? They took Hama. They're marching on Damascus, last I heard. They already took some air base and had like 5 really nice jets left behind. Like, it's not like, oh, hey, this is from something from World War II. Like, no, they had like up-to-date advanced jets left behind that they took and all that. Like, it's an absolute fucking shit show for Assad over there, which is why he fled the country. Wow, DSP. I was able to cover the stuff going on in Syria live. Imagine that. Do I have psychic powers? How did I do that, guys? It's insane I was able to do that live.
Am I on the
Especially
ground
someone as
right
dumb
now
as DSP.
in Syria to cover this? Maybe you're greatly over-anticipating the power of DSPolitics. I'm sorry, I don't have a crack team of reporters on the other side of the globe to be covering live events. I'm sorry. Okay, anyway. All right, so let's take a brief break. I'm going to split the part here, and I'm just going to stretch a little bit here. And then we're going to continue on with the second half of our show. Don't worry, we still have many topics to cover on tonight's show. The next one's a good one, actually. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this next one. And then we have we have 2 more major topics, and then we're going to have some speed topics, and then we're going to get to our conclusion of the show tonight. It should be pretty good. Okay, so good stuff. Thank you, guys. Put the part here. All right. Did I just get 2 more? Let's see. I just got Darkside Pimp just gifted another one, and it went to Grande Dio, and then yes, Busty Phil gifted one. So 2 more gifted subs. Thank you very much, you guys. So thank you, Darkside Pimp. And to Busty Phil, so we're up to 62 tonight and climbing, which is good. Thank you guys for the momentum. I appreciate that. Hold on, because I got an email, a distracting email here. I'm just curious what this is.
A distracting email. How's it a distracting email?
I see what it is. It's an update. Remember I told you guys, well, I don't know if you watched the podcast today live. You couldn't have watched it on demand yet because I didn't get to update it yet or upload it yet. But a viewer has donated a 4 terabyte SSD for my new capture streaming computer. They said
bullshit. He has all the shipping information. How does someone who didn't order it have all the shipping information about it? Suspicious, almost as if DSP is the one who bought it. See you, Lee. Thanks for hanging out. And sorry, guys, for the issues again. So, yes, DSP has purchased a new 4 terabyte SSD that he doesn't need. But, no, guys, someone donated it, I swear. Then how come you have all the shipping information for it?
they wanted me to have big storage space so I can record at any quality I want. I don't have to worry about running out of space. So that's coming. I just got the update email that it's shipped and it's coming next week. So yes, thank you. Again, guys, the overwhelming support continues. And I really, really, really appreciate the support you guys have been giving me. It's incredible, the level of support that I'm receiving on a daily basis. And I really, I'm very, very grateful for you guys. Mark McCauley says, is downtown Seattle still dangerous? Yes. Although the mayor of Seattle has been trying a bunch of initiatives. That was one of the things we talked about last week, that he's trying a bunch of initiatives to try to stop the crime down there. Some of it's working, some of it isn't, but at least it's something. He's trying something. It's hard because a lot of people's hands are tied. There's not much you can really do at this point. Because the problem is they changed all the laws to make it so lax that criminals can't get prosecuted for these actions. And that's why they're getting away with them, quite frankly. So I forgot to change the color. Darn. I know it was nice Christmas colors at the bottom, but I actually wanted to have blue and red, so it would be like red, white, and blue. I screwed that up, but now I fixed it for the second half. Let's see. Darkside Pimp says, ironically, many countries have tariffs on UX exports. Right. I know. A lot of countries don't like us, and so anything that we export to their country, they end up hitting us with big tariffs. But now when we decide to say that there's going to be tariffs, it's like, horrible. Okay, 1 second. I would just like to stretch.
Guys, Iran has tariffs on products we send to them. How dare they? Wow, why would an enemy country... Wonder why an enemy country would have heavy tariffs on America. Oh, because they're an enemy. Just saying. Enemy countries that don't like us, yeah, they're going to tariff our ass. Oh, should we be doing that to our closest allies? Canada and Mexico? No. There's a reason why they are our closest allies, damn it. But I guess for DSP it doesn't fucking matter, does it? Playing Canada.
And blow my nose quickly, and then we will do the second half of the show.
Quickly my ass.
Slayer says we don't have this kind of protest here. Any riots are quickly put down so we don't have crimes. I mean, again, and the thing is, it's not that they don't have laws against protesting in Canada. We also don't have laws against protesting here in the United States. It's actually legally allowed. However, the violent kind is illegal everywhere. Canada, here, it's not allowed. Yet, they do nothing about it. If you do nothing about it, it will continue forever, and that's why people are criticizing him, you know?
Take a sip, sleazy asshole.
Have I ever gone to a protest? I did. I attended a protest, and the subject matter was that we were going to protest that we were not going to protest. So we all got up, and we said, we're not going to protest. We're not going to protest. We're not going to... We had signs
that would require leaving the house, so that never happened.
Out. We're not going to protest. We're not going to protest. Wait,
kill the stream. You know it, Drax.
PCU. That was a great movie. I recommend everyone go see PCU. It's an absolutely great movie if you haven't seen it yet. Okay. Okay. All right. Are we ready to continue? That's right. PCU absolutely foretold the future. You should see that. You should see PCU right now. It foretells all of this crap that's going on right now. It really does. Just keep in mind, if you see PCU, it was meant to be a comedy. It wasn't meant to be serious. But now the movie's serious. Okay. Ready? Let's get to the second half. By the way, I forgot all the transitional animations. Son of a bitch. I'll use them right now. I totally forgot I had them. Sorry about that.
Dumbass.
Where are they? Here they are. Okay, cool.
Gin brain.
We are back, everyone. The second half of DSPolitics for November 29, 2024. I hope that everyone is enjoying the show so far. Thanks to everyone hanging out with me live here on Kick, the exclusive home of this show. And for those watching possibly on demand in a clip, although I doubt I'll clip this part, so you probably will never see me say that on demand. There you go. So, let's head into our second half of the night, shall we? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's our next topic.
Yeah, it was better when he wasn't using these.
So, something happened this week that no one was expecting. A long-running car maker who is known for a certain product line and a certain advertising line, and, you know, they're synonymous with greatness, basically, came out of nowhere with a complete relaunch and new philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to take a look at it together. I will show you now the new face.
The only belief he has is give him more money.
Automobiles. Ready?
But Kino Casino has done some right-wing grifting. He probably saw how much money they were making. Like, it can't be that hard to be a right-wing grifter. I'll just say Trump is great, then all the right-wingers will give me all the money. Unfortunately for him, the right-wing grifting space is so saturated with people that how do you stand out? Guess what? He doesn't stand out. And so it's the same people showing up every week, giving him the same money. It's no one new.
Here it comes.
Europeans being weird. That is a very stupid logo. Like, where did the Jaguar go? Like, you're called Jaguar, known for your Jaguar.
Officially this
where did
week.
the Jaguar go?
Okay. So if you just see that completely out of context, there's a few questions you might have, all right? All right, your first question might be, what the hell did that have to do with cars? Jaguar is an automobile company. What did we just watch? What we did watch was 30 seconds of people who attempted to basically break the mold. Take a look. They're all over different races,
and Jaguar is trying to
creeds,
break the
different
mold.
Genders. Perhaps some of them are not even defined by one gender. I wouldn't know. I actually don't care to know. One of them, for some reason, has a chunk of hair missing out of their head. I don't know if they were, they were trying to clean the lawnmower and they bent over a little too far or something. I don't know. I don't even know what this is. I don't think I want to know what this is. It's maybe too much information for me. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that they were really going for something different here. then probably what a lot of people
That
would be
sounds like
looking
the
for
advertising works
in an
because they did go
automobile
for
company
something
ad.
different.
Break molds. Okay, now, maybe I'm just a little bit ignorant. Maybe I'm not the most informed guy on marketing, right? You know, I've never run a marketing campaign before. Maybe I have a very cursory knowledge. I did take a course or two about it when I was in university, many moons
Again,
ago.
he has a business
But
degree.
call me crazy. I thought that when you're trying to advertise a product, the advertisement should actually address the product, or at least show it, or at least discuss it in some way. Like for
One of the most famous ads of all time is an Apple ad that does not feature an Apple product. It's a woman throwing a hammer at a movie screen. Let's see if I can't find it. Apple ad, throw hammer at screen. Yeah, 1984, Apple's first Macintosh commercial does not feature a Macintosh computer. Oh, wait for an actual ad to play. This was a Super Bowl commercial in 1984. Oh. I sped it up to 1.5 speed.
Glorious anniversary of the information purification
This is the 1984 Super Bowl commercial for Macintosh. Guys, I'm not seeing a Macintosh. This ad doesn't make any sense to me.
One resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh, and you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Guys, it never featured a single computer in that entire ad. I don't get it. What's going on, guys? Gee, DSP, I wonder. I just not realized I had that image in the way the whole time. Womp womp. Well, that might be good because it might stop me from getting a copyright or a block worldwide on this.
For example, if you're trying to sell a candy bar, you wouldn't have an entire ad of someone firing a rifle. And that's it. That's the ad. Never show the candy bar, never discuss the candy bar. But that's apparently what they're going for.
And that is one of the most
they
famous
really want to
ads
go
of all
as
time.
possible, in a very bizarre direction. And of course, the internet is abuzz with this. The world is abuzz with this. Because again, Jaguar is a very long-running brand of automobiles. And
Almost as if the ad is
this
working.
Is what they came out with. Has people scratching their heads in various different ways, okay? What I like to do is tackle this from two different angles, all right? From one angle, which is the angle that I think the vast majority of humans on this planet would take it from, is an angle of confusion, an angle of just quandary, like what just happened? What did we just watch? What is going on? It's almost like it's extreme. There's a difference between like we want to go in a different direction or we want to be more inclusive, you know, all these DEI initiatives and things that have been in companies now for the last 5 to 10 years, and we're seeing increasingly more in the corporate world. This is kind of like, we're literally going as extreme as possible to elicit a reaction from the world. We know what we're doing is going to get this reaction, and that's exactly why
And it
we're
seems to be
doing it.
working.
Okay? What I like to do, this person here did a great thread on X about this. Basically says, Jaguar made the most expensive mistake of 2024. They spent millions on a rebrand that erased 100 years of heritage. So, the company started in 1922, but made their first car in 1935. You can see, they tried to basically make their cars the epitome of excellence. One was known as the most beautiful car. One was known as the fastest car. One was known as a modern masterpiece. And each car was a piece of art until 2021. In 2021, the automotive industry faced a crisis. Tesla began to dominate all luxury electric vehicles. Rising environmental concerns made it that a lot of people were saying, we got to shift to electric. We can't have fossil fuel cars anymore. And emissions regulations changed worldwide. And again, the threat that these fossil fuel cars are going to be regulated to the point where they're just not viable anymore. The Jaguar said they were going to adapt. Their solution was radical. They paused all car sales in the UK and announced going all electric by 2025. On November 19, 2024, they revealed their new identity, and no one expected what came next. Instead of showcasing engineering prowess, they launched a 30-second video featuring models in vibrant futuristic outfits and alien-like landscapes, and there's not a single car in sight. Their new logo is Jaguar, emphasizing the British pronunciation Jag-U-R. Get it? It's not Jaguar or Jaguar, it's Jag-U-R. Get it? You are something. Their new slogan, delete ordinary, break mold, copy nothing, live vivid. Even their iconic leaping Jaguar is reimagined. The back
That I don't agree with. They should have kept the Jaguar in their logo.
Flash is instant and brutal. Over 90 million views in days resulted in thousands of memes and endless mockery. When Elon Musk chimed in, do you even sell cars? Criticism went deeper than jokes. It wasn't just about going electric. Tesla proved you can make electric cars sexy. This is about erasing a century of heritage. But here's what makes the rebrand fascinating. Jaguar isn't just changing their logo, they're deliberately abandoning 90% of their current customers. Why would a luxury brand do this? Here was the original, here was one of their rebrands, here's what they're doing here, look. So, they want to move into ultra-luxury cars that cost over $127,000 US, target a younger, wealthier buyer, transform into an artistic brand, and compete directly with Tesla. But they made a crucial mistake. They confused bold with alienating. You can target new customers without rejecting your heritage. You can be modern without being unrecognizable. You can innovate without losing your soul. The numbers tell the story. Jaguar sales already dropped 50% since COVID hit, and now they're betting everything on an attractive new generation of buyers. In trying to appeal to everyone, they're resonating with no one. Time will tell how the rebrand goes. As you can see, I mean, look, their sales are down into the depths. They were making at one point between 10 and 15,000, and now they're below 5,000. So they are tanking. So what this person is essentially saying is people trust brands for various reasons. A person, a fact about that brand. There's always something that ties something critical to a brand. Jaguar had that, and they literally just threw it away. So even though they're still called Jaguar, they don't have a brand anymore. They literally, in 30 seconds, they obliterated their brand, and now people have no idea what the car is. Like, we don't know what the new car will be when they show it, okay? And I think what's going to happen is they're going to announce this new vehicle in early next year and show.
But here's the thing. Oh, they're in these weird futuristic costumes like you would see in Fifth Element or something. Wow. They're going into the future with all electric. And in the future, they're going to announce these new all electric cars. And so they go with some weird futuristic looking models. Huh. I wonder what the connection here is. New futuristic car, new futuristic looking models in the ad advertising the new futuristic model of a car. I wonder what the connection here is. And, as he said, millions of people have watched this ad. When's the last time tens of millions of people have watched a Jaguar ad? They have now. It's going viral. DSP's talking about it right now.
Show it off. And of course, now people are wondering what the hell it's going to be. So this guy is under the impression they have destroyed their brand, and through $1 million spent on marketing here, they're done. However, there is an opposing view. Okay? So this person who writes for Forbes basically says, at first they were dubious, but now
Why
not
do you keep
anymore.
going to Forbes for all
Why?
your articles? That's kind of
Well,
weird.
it's very simple. I'm not going to read the entire article. But basically,
not, 'cause you can't
Jaguar is going to present an insanely different vehicle very shortly. Whatever they're going to present, apparently, is not going to be anything close to what they used to do. Okay? And so they actually felt like they didn't have a chance because they're known for this particular kind of car. And if they're going to now present a whole new kind, the only way to be
And I know what they say, there's no such thing as bad PR.
successful would be to burn it down. And so this was a calculated risk that putting out this ad was going to essentially destroy their reputation on purpose so people would at least talk about them again. Because right now, as you saw, their sales are plummeting. They're selling less than 1/3 of what they were selling just a few years ago. They're basically done. So the only way to get people talking about them would be to cause controversy, okay? I remember, now you guys are going to laugh at this. I remember many years ago, someone who was big into pro wrestling back in the day, his name's Eric Bischoff, okay? At one point, this guy was the bigwig behind WCW, World Championship Wrestling. And he wrote a book, and the name of the book was Controversy Creates Cash. That as long as you are pertinent for any reason, even if it has to be controversial, you'll still have people talking about you, you'll still have people who want to know about you, and you'll still have people spending money on you. Doesn't matter if you're the best, doesn't matter if you're the worst, you just want to be in the conversation. Jaguar considered themselves out of the conversation. And so they think that releasing this 30-second burn it down all hyper liberal, 100% progressive,
Yeah, most things look way
break
better.
the mold ad, men looking like women, women looking like men, big chunks of hair out of their heads, you know, weirdo stuff. They think that this is going to get people talking about them so that people will
You're
now
talking about
buy
it
their
right now.
cars, okay? Now, this very well may be true. Right now, everyone is talking about Jaguar, not for good reason. People are just wondering what the heck is next after that. Like, how do you top that? Because that's wild. And now they're going to show off their car within a few days. I think they said it was December 2nd. And so within the next week, we are going to see what the new car looks like. All right? I mean, if you're basing it off of what we just saw, I mean, this car very well might not have 4 wheels. Maybe it has 17 wheels, 2 giant rods sticking out the top that spin like this, catching objects out of the sky. Maybe it doesn't have doors. Maybe you just like you jump through a hole in the side, it sucks you inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, from what their ad said, it doesn't even sound like they're going to be selling like a normal car. Exactly. I cured what my brain said. The
It's gonna
Homer
be an
Simpson
electric
car.
car.
Do you remember on The Simpsons? A very old episode. Homer Simpson was allowed to design a car, and he designed the most insanely crazy, over-the-top, outlandish car that no one would ever buy. But that's the joke, right? So maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. I'll tell you this. If they release a car and it looks exactly the same as all the other cars out there, people are going to be like, why did you do this? Why did you bother? Right? Now, here's the thing, folks, about the whole Jaguar situation and this wild strategy.
Yeah, it's a huge move to go to
Here's my
full
honest
electric.
opinion. Because you might be shocked.
Going into the future with all electric, which is pretty futuristic, dude. So I might explain the futuristic models that they use.
I actually believe
Reminds me a lot of Fifth Element
this
or
strategy
Demolition Man.
is a good one that works. Just not right now. This strategy probably would have worked a year ago, or this strategy might have worked if the Democrats just won the American presidential election, but they lost. And now it's happened in the last few weeks since this happened. You've seen a cultural shift. You are seeing people saying, enough is enough with this liberal stuff. We don't want this anymore. That's why we vote against it. And that's why we got Trump in. That's why the Republicans are now going to dominate the Senate and the House of Representatives. This was the absolutely
Dominate? They have like a 3-seat lead in the House and in the Senate. That's not dominant. That is barely hanging on. And actually, I think they just caught another race in California. So it might be a 2-seat lead in the House. They lose 2 votes in the House, and the Republicans can't pass anything. DSP, it is not dominant. 3 seats in the Senate and 2, maybe 3 seats in the House. Got the smallest majority in a century. Like, this is not dominant. They lose 2 votes in the House, they can't pass anything. So someone says, hey, do this for me. No. Well, I'm not going to vote for it. But we can't support that. Well, then I ain't supporting your bills. You lose. Like, it's not dominant. And so it is 2 seats. Holy shit.
positively
How the
worst
fuck do you think this
possible
is
time
dominant?
for Jaguar to launch this kind of rebranding. This could have worked if it happened earlier or if we had a different outcome. But you have to be the dumbest person on the planet to think that this is what's wanted right now. You just had everyone in the United States vote and say, we don't want that crazy stuff anymore. We've had enough of it. We want to go back to how things were before. That's why we voted that way. So why would you launch this campaign now? You want to know the truth? I think they
Want to know the truth? Jaguar is sold in Europe. Jaguar is sold in Canada. Jaguar is sold in Asia. Jaguar is a worldwide company. So, maybe, just maybe, they went with a strategy that would work worldwide. Also, DSP, I get it. You can barely afford that Toyota Corolla. But you know what? People looking for Jaguars, they don't tend to be, playing the banjo, talking about banging their cuz wife, and making you squeal like a piggy. You know what they're doing? They're going to fashionista shows. Like, you're going to see those models at those fashion shows that these rich people are going to. Those rich people are going to see those models like, hey, I saw that model at the last whatever I went to. Last fashion show I went to, I saw a model that looked just like that. So DSP, congratulations on not understanding that, you know what? Jaguars are sold worldwide. And you know what? The people who are buying Jaguars, they tend to be fucking rich. So they're into the weird models and the weird clothes and the futuristic advertising. They're the people that are buying a banana taped to a wall and then eating the banana for $65 million or whatever it cost. The rich people are, yeah, they're doing weird shit. They're the ones that, like, pay midgets to play in their yard and act like lawn gnomes or whatever. Like, yeah, the rich are eccentric. The rich are going to see a fancy, artistic ad like that and be like, that is right up my alley. Jeeves, please make an appointment with a Jaguar dealer for this Saturday. Put it between my horse racing and my croquet match.
Didn't have a choice. I think they were banking on the Democrats winning this election and saying, ha, now America will be ultra-liberal for 4 years. And everyone will want our cars because everyone wants to be
Oh,
weird
yes,
and
that's
fucking
getting
different. And this is the
panned.
way to do it. Be the person with the chunk of hair missing. Be the person who dresses up with a donut around their stomach. Be the weirdo bouncing off the walls with a mallet or whatever, you know, break molds and drive a Jaguar. But, sorry, that's not what happened. It's the opposite. People said, no, we don't want the ultra-liberal. We don't want the ultra-progressive. We want things to go back again. And they voted for it, and they won. The majority, both in the popular vote and all of the what's the other thing? The electoral college vote. Dang, sorry about that. I had a brain fart. So yeah, both dominated by the Republicans. This is the absolute worst possible time for them to try to do this. It might have worked, but the thing is, and here's why, we talked about this, all right? Why did the Republicans win the election? There are people who want this, by the way. However, the people who want this are considered coastal elites. These are people who live on the coast of the United States, east and the west coast, in very pocketed parts, the entire, you know, northeastern coast all the way up, and the west coast from Washington, where I live, all the way down California. And there's a lot of people who are there in big population dense areas, and they want the liberal values, they want, you know, everything mixing over, and they want this kind of stuff. Okay? And they vote, and they're powerful, and they have a lot of money. These people are you know, a lot of money to spend. And again, if the Democrats had won the election, I wouldn't be shocked if there would have been a different response to this. But now we've seen, oh, oops, I guess there's going to be a shift. And this is in America, we have the shift. What's going to happen, again, I told you, in culture in the world, you see this pendulum swing back and forth. America was the tipping point. And now I guarantee you, we just talked about it with Justin Trudeau earlier, you may start to see this conservative shift around the rest of the globe as well. You're going to see people saying, we had a few years of this, we had, 8, 10 years of it. Let's go back. Go back to the other side now. So this couldn't have been the worst strategy. I mean, I can't believe they decided to go through with it. The only thing I can think of, they didn't have a choice. They actually put all their eggs in one basket. They're already desperate because they've lost so much of their sales. They had to do something, and they 100% somehow got brainwashed that they thought that the Democrats were going to have a sweeping win and that this was going to be the beginning of the full progressive push worldwide rather than a full conservative push. They gambled wrong. You know, you bet on black. Oops, it came up red. Son of a bitch. And now, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, again, unless this car gets announced this week, and this is the best.
Oh, yeah, he definitely... We've never heard about childhood stories other than, I played with the He-Man toy in the attic. I was going to learn to ride a bike, but there were minorities in the neighborhood, and I said, Dad, I don't want to be outside where the minorities are, so I can't learn to ride a bike. But you never hear any childhood stories of him hanging with his friends. What the fuck was that? You never hear any childhood stories of him with friends. You never hear about childhood stories with him and his cousins. Let's see, some childhood stories. Back in the day, you get all bundled up for snow, go into the woods, then you and your friends would climb trees and see who could climb the highest. When the branch would break, you'd fall, 10, 15, 20 feet, slam into the snow, get back up, see who could climb higher. And you did that for hours in the winter. For hours of who can climb the tallest tree, who can climb higher. All right, you fell out of that tree. I'm going to see if I can climb that tree higher than you did. For hours. Yeah, we shoot each other with BB guns. Done that too. be out all hours of the day in the summer, and then it's like, wait, that's a whistle. Oh, Mom wants me to go home. We had a balcony on the second floor. Mom would blow a whistle. It was like, oh, hear the whistle. Got to go back home now. Dinner time. DSP, you've never shared a story like that. You have never shared a story about doing stuff with friends or cousins or anything. It's always, and then Daddy came home and I was allowed to play with the Castle Grayskull set in the attic. I wasn't allowed to play with it alone because I'm too fucking stupid to be left alone. I might hurt myself. So I had to wait for Dad to come home and then I could play with it. Yeah, riding bikes, going out to the lake. There's a path where you're not allowed to go, but if you're on bikes, the fuck are they gonna do? So yeah, you go way to the back to go swimming in the lake. Going to the golf course and snagging golf balls. Or in the winter, going to the golf course because they had the ponds and all that, so you go ice skating. Honey makers more to wander around, only cows. Nice. Or favorite story to tell. It's winter. Blockbuster's still a thing. This is how old I fucking am. So my friends and I, hey, let's go to Blockbuster and rent Idle Hands. We go to Blockbuster. We go to rent Idle Hands. Along the way, my friend, whose car it is setting the air fresheners on fire, blowing them out, set them on fire, blow them out. Whatever. Stupid 16-year-old kids. Maybe 17. We go inside a Blockbuster. We're in there, all of a sudden we hear, there's a green Camaro outside on fire. Ha! Mine's black. There's a black Camaro outside on fire. Apparently, when we left the car, my friend did not blow the air fresheners out all the way. And so now they're just bursting into flames. His car is on fire. Him and our other friend go running out there to put out the fire. I'm of no use. I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm inside the store laughing my ass off of absolutely no help. Now, they get the fire put out using a fire extinguisher when the fire department shows up. Mind you, we're like 16, maybe 17 years old. We got a case of beer in the back and some vodka. Oh, we got to open the trunk to make sure the fire doesn't spread back. No, don't worry about it. You don't need to open the trunk. Because we don't need them to find the case of beer and the vodka we have in the trunk of the car. DSP has never had a story like that. He has never told a story like that. He's never been able to go, guys, me and my friends, this is how old we are. We went to Blockbuster and ran Idle Hands. Love the movie. Great movie. Seth Green's awesome. And when we were there, accidentally set the car on fire, guys. It was hilarious. I was of no help. I was too busy laughing my balls off. Ack. He's never been able to tell a story like that, which I think is very telling. How do you go through 42 years of life and you have no stories like that? You have no stories of being young, dumb, and full of, well, vodka, not rum, but still, you know what I mean. Oh yeah, Jessica Alba, fucking gorgeous. Oh, talking about college, like, guys, I smoked weed once and I ended up puking. Like, you don't puke from weed. What the fuck were you doing? Like, what drugs was DSP doing where he puked from smoking weed? That's what I thought. But it's like, on one hand, it's hilarious that he's never had a single story like that. But it's also very sad that 42 years old and there's no story like that in his life. He has never had a moment in his life where he can be like, oh, guys, this is one of my favorite memories of my friends and I when we were younger in high school, just having a good time, going to Blockbuster and Idle Hands, set the fucking car on fire, like, oh, what the fuck were you doing? He has no stories like that. He got high and ended up puking in college. Which, again, what the fuck were you smoking?
Dang car you've ever seen in your life. I cannot imagine them selling this vehicle. I don't think, again, maybe the only people who are going to get it are those people who are the stick it to 'ems, right? Well, we hate that the Republicans won. We hate that Trump is the president. We hate that conservatives around the world are gaining power. Buy a Jaguar to stand against them. You know, it's the Neil Druckmann philosophy. Man, buy Last of Us 2
The accent
to
that
stand
changes every
against the
time he
bigots.
tells a
Don't buy it
story.
because it's a good product. Buy it because you want to stand against those people you don't like. It could be that. It could end up being that the progressive car. And so every person who's ultra liberal, ultra progressive is driving a Jaguar down the street that has 17 wheels and 2 things spinning like this into the sky, grabbing things out, and you have to jump through a hole to get sucked into it. You know, the Homer Simpson car. Maybe they'll all have one.
Thank oregano.
I'll just say this. There's going to be a large group of people that if that's the case, they're going to know who to stay away from. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to, I don't want to be associated with that. That just tells me this is a person who I personally, not me, I'm not saying this is me, but I'm saying people who are ultra conservative are going to be like, we want to stay away from those people, you know? So anyway, I don't think that this is a very successful bid, even though this one person from Forbes thinks it is. I think, sadly, this is a situation that's going to backfire right in their face, and it's not going to be very pretty for them. My honest take, okay? Okay. Whew, all right. So basically, I have 2 other topics that I absolutely want to cover tonight, but I also have a couple quick ones. And I'm debating. I know one of them is going to take probably about 15, 20 minutes. One of them will be faster. So I think we have time for maybe one we can interject here as an extra topic, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time for all of these. So I think maybe we'll talk about this one. This is one that I was talking about for a while during the last presidency, Biden's presidency. And I think this one will be pretty good to cover. We're going to watch a lot of a video that's going to teach us about inflation. And then we're going to talk a little bit about it together. And then I have 2 more stories to
Like
end
he
the show,
knows who Steve
okay?
Forbes
But
is.
in the meantime,
Oh, Thanksgiving was great.
thank you to
No
everyone
work,
who was here,
friends,
who's chilling,
food,
who's
family,
enjoying the show.
football.
We have about roughly 40 minutes left, roughly. Guys, if you like the show, please
Roughly
support
40 minutes, unless he needs to go into overtime because he hasn't hit the goal yet.
it. We currently are at $62 out of our 150
Which
goal.
he does.
Obviously, we want to keep the streak alive and keep it rolling. At
We
89,
want to
we
keep
wanna
the
get
streak
to
alive,
90 tonight.
guys.
So if you could support the stream tonight in some way, please do. Whether it be a sub or gifted sub here on Kick, whether it be a tip, which you don't have to do through Kick. You could actually do that by looking at the description of the stream or going to the About tab. Either way there, you can actually send a tip, okay? And again, I will go ahead and shout out any contributions or anything that you guys contribute for tonight, all right? By the way, for the record, because some people outright said, well, I want to watch your show, but I don't want to be like having a Kick account. You could interact with me by tipping. That's what some people do. They tip a couple bucks and they say something, I read it out, and I respond. That's the way you can do it if you don't want to have a Kick account, okay? Sound good? Ooh, excuse me. All right, we ready to continue? Okay, here we go. All right, so everyone, there's been a hot topic recently, okay? And the hot topic is thus. Why is it that if the mainstream media in the United States seems to be reporting that inflation is going down, that it seems like a lot of Americans are saying, well, I don't get how inflation is going
Just
down.
give me money.
Because I certainly haven't noticed that prices are going down. I mean, I go and I shop, and the prices at the grocery store are just as expensive as they were a year or 2 ago. In some cases, it seems like prices have gone up. I'm not saving at the pump when I go to get gas. My taxes didn't
Dr.
go down.
FOMO, where else
But
is he supposed to go
nothing's
for
going down.
news besides
So
Twitter?
why is it that inflation keeps getting reported as, oh, it's decreasing, don't worry, okay? Well, there's a fascinating video on YouTube by someone here who basically kind of breaks it down, saying that our U.S. government very much would benefit if inflation was reported as being lower than it actually is. Let's take a look.
In today's video, I want to explain to you why I believe that the government is underreporting inflation. So long story short, the government underreports inflation to cheat Americans. It's all about the money. So the purpose of this video is to spread awareness. This is my opinion and the way I see it. Let me know what you think. Okay, so here's the situation. The government now reports that inflation is rising at a rate of 2.6%.
I'm going to make my my screen much smaller for this because there's going to be a lot of data on the screen. So I want you to think about that. The government is saying inflation is rising at 2.6%. Okay?
But are prices really going up by 2.6% a year? Or is it truly more? But why would the government be dishonest and not report to the American people the true rate of inflation? What would motivate the government to report inaccurate figures? So I could think of at least 2 reasons why. Number 1, the politicians lie for political gain. And number 2, the politicians and government officials lie so that the government saves money.
Now, when he says political gain, of course, what he means is if a politician is reporting accurately, what inflation really is, and inflation is very high, people are going to be like, well, then you're doing a bad job as a politician. You're supposed to be a public servant. Okay? So if you're a public servant, why are you not doing things to benefit the American people? Government saves money. Well, let's be honest. Our government is an insane amount of debt. And I'm sure any penny that they can...
That's from the guy who had $131,000 of credit card debt and a second condo in Connecticut before he declared bankruptcy. But still owes probably $70,000 to $80,000 in back taxes. And, what, $240,000, $230,000 on his Washington condo? Good job, DSP. Way to not be in tons of debt. Oh, wait, you are. Jackass.
Save, they're going to try to cut corners no matter what. Okay?
So let's start with political gain. And this one's going to be short because it's straightforward.
I think we already discussed it. I mean, we already know. They benefit from people thinking that things are
No,
getting
Roach
better.
Bait. The
Okay?
president has a lever, and he switches it to increase deficit whenever he wants.
Bad news, not a good look, not popular,
Increase
doesn't win votes,
inflation.
but good news, looks better, wins more.
Everyone
wins more
knows that they have a
votes. Wanna
switch.
stay in
Once
power?
Trump gets in the
Well,
office, he's going to switch
inflation's
it
doing
back
better.
to
People just believe
deflation,
it, and there you
dude.
go. Okay, now here's the financial motivation.
So let's think this through logically. The CPI inflation reports, which the government puts together, affects the income of 80 million Americans. So we're talking about Social Security recipients, food stamp recipients, SNAP benefits, military and civil service retirees, rental assistance, even school lunch programs.
For those who are not Americans, because actually some people who watch the show are not here in the United States, these are all social assistance programs from our government. I and everyone here pays taxes to our federal government. The government takes the money
Yeah,
and
smash
then
the deflation
redistributes it to
button.
people who need it. So people who are on Social Security, you know, people who basically, maybe they don't have steady income, maybe they're elderly, they get Social Security. Food stamp recipients, again, people who are on a lower income, they can't afford food, they get stamps to go to the grocery store and get
Only
food.
half of
They
his
don't have to use
audience?
money because they don't have one. Military and civil service retirees. What if you were a lifetime person in the military and you retired? Well, now you have no income coming in. You need to have income and the government gives it to you. Okay? So these are all these kind of social assistance programs. And this is the government giving this money out to these Americans. 80 million Americans are on these programs. Okay?
Now imagine if inflation was truly 10%, okay? And imagine the government increased the annual cost of living adjustment to beneficiaries by 10%. That would be called fair. But you know what would be cheaper for the government? If the rate of inflation was truly at 10% and the government says the rate of inflation is at 6%. Now the government only needs to give a 6% raise to beneficiaries instead of 10%. So call me crazy, but I think the government is not playing
So without
fair,
disability and
and
Social Security,
beneficiaries
DSP's
are getting
fucked.
cheated. So if you are a beneficiary in a program and you feel like your standard of living has been falling, I don't think you're going crazy. I think you're being cheated. So
And this is funny because this is happening across the country. People have been saying this. Why do you think people just voted Republican in the last election? They're like, why is all the news saying inflation's going down, but our prices aren't going down? We can't afford anything. So there's a
We
disconnect.
can't afford
How does
anything?
that make sense?
DSP,
People
how
who are
can
on these
you not
fixed
afford
incomes
anything?
Based on government assistance, can't afford anything anymore. Does it make sense? Of course it does.
Making
So,
15 grand a month, if not
he's gonna
more
explain
lately,
here. Let's see
still
here.
can't afford anything.
Right, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. If they misreport inflation, then they don't have to pay people as much when it comes to these programs, and they save money. So here we go.
So the original calculation went like this.
So what he's gonna, this is how they calculate inflation, okay? But the inflation calculation has changed tons over the years. Tons. Here's how.
They would select a variety of everyday goods.
That's fair.
And they would see how the price changed over the course of a year.
Sounds
So for
reasonable.
example, let's say a pound of sugar cost $1 last year. Today it cost $1.10. So sugar went up by 10%.
There you
And
go.
they would calculate inflation like that.
And that makes perfect sense. That's how inflation should be calculated.
So that is very simple. And that makes sense, right? Now the calculation has undergone improvements to become more accurate. So the new method considers quality.
Someone's done the math. He's spent roughly $5,700 between two PCs, the extra mouse that he got for some reason, the extra SSD hard drives, the capture cards, whatever. $5,700. Guys, I can't afford a pound of sugar anymore because of Biden. But you're able to afford $5,700 worth of computer crap. Gotcha. Oh, shit.
And substitutes. So for example, if sugar goes from $1 to $1.10, that's a 10% inflation rate. But let's just say that the price of Splenda, a substitute, only went up by 3%. Then they could elect to go with 3%.
What? How does that make any fucking sense at all? Is Splenda the same as sugar? It's a substitute, but Splenda is more expensive than sugar. So just because something that was more expensive
And PS5 Pro.
only had a 3% increase, that doesn't mean that inflation's 3% at all. But this is what they're doing. This is what our government here in the United States is doing. They're fudging numbers in order to misreport things.
So now, this is very important. The CPI no longer measures the change in price. It measures the change in cost of living. So let that sink in. The government also uses alternative testing measures in their calculations. So one example is with housing. The government uses a survey called Owner's Equivalent Rent. They ask people, what do you think it would cost you to rent a similar place? What's your best estimate? So you know what would be more accurate? To use actual price changes of rent and home prices. The data is easily available, but they prefer not to use it. So it's interesting to note that the government reports inflation has gone up a total of 20% over the past 4 years. However, actual home prices have gone up by 50% in the past 4 years.
And there it is. I mean, that's it. That's the end of the discussion.
Home prices going up by 50% is a good thing for you, DSP. That's why you went from paying $270,000 property taxes to $510,000 worth of property taxes. According to Kingston County or King County, the value of his condo is $509,000. So he pays property taxes on $509,000. If his condo only went up by 20% instead of 50%, he would owe less in property tax. But when he goes to refinance, he'd get nothing. Guys, I don't get it. The government said it only went up by 20%, but I need more money than that. Also, yeah, all those times, like, do you guys ever see the videos of, like, they get the boomers? It's like, all right, how much do you think this house is worth? It's probably worth, like, $30,000. And it's like, you know, 430. It's like, oh, back when I bought a house in 1952, a house like that would have cost like 20 grand. So I know, but I know the price has gone up, so maybe 40 grand. That's a $500,000 house. So yeah, basing stuff off of what people think something costs, oh hell no.
We have factual evidence that our government has been lying to us in the last 4 years about inflation. They are claiming it's only a 20% increase, but factual prices have gone up 50%. So how are they getting away with this? Really? How? Why are we allowing our government to lie to us? And I just want you to think about this.
Remember, he doesn't vote. He's not registered to vote. So he has absolutely no say in any of this because he's a dumbass.
People who are in charge. Okay, who was in charge of the government in the last 4 years? The Democrats. Okay, they controlled everything. All right, they did.
What? Democrats did not control everything. They had the White House and they had, what, a 1-seat majority in the Senate? They did not have the House and they did not have the Supreme Court. How did the Democrats control everything? What the fuck? DSP, like, I get it, you're DSP. You don't know anything. But really? The Democrats controlled everything. They had a 1-seat majority in the Senate. They didn't control the House. They didn't control the Supreme Court. I'm pretty sure they also didn't have control over the majority of the state governments. What the... Like, I get it. It's DSP. He's ignorant of everything. He doesn't know anything. But to not understand who's begging... Like, who controls the House, the Supreme Court, and all that. What the fuck?
And they wanted to be reelected, and people were so busy saying, oh no, I'm afraid of Donald Trump. He's going to be a dictator and a fascist, and he's going to take away all of our rights. There was evidence right here in our faces that the people in charge had been bold-faced lying to us about everything, and we just didn't care. Vote for the Democrats because we don't like Donald Trump. But the Democrats are outright lying to us about everything. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, because the Republicans have never lied about anything ever.
We don't like Donald Trump. Vote for Kamala. Wait, what? I mean, again, this is what I was saying 2 weeks ago. The Democratic presidential race was not a race on any fact. It was a race on fear-mongering because that was their stance. They realized if people sat down and analyzed facts, they were going to find shit like this and be like, ooh, shit. We've been lied to all this time? Yes, you have been. outright. And by the way, for clarification purposes, I just want you guys to understand something, okay? It's not just the Democrats. It's all of the people in power. They lie to the American people constantly, up, down, left, and right in every single possible way. And we let it happen. We keep voting the same kind of rich.
We keep voting the same kind of way. You don't vote. You're not registered. You literally are not registered to vote. You can't even send in a mail-in ballot. You are so lazy, you won't send in a mail-in ballot. You don't even have to leave the house anymore, DSP. You can do, mind you, Cat voted by mail. His wife voted by mail. But he can't because he's not even registered to vote.
People into power who don't have our best interests in mind, who only care about being part of the 1%, controlling all the wealth. Do you think rich people are affected by this inflation? No, they're not. They're already ultra rich. They don't care. But we get affected by it. You and me, normal people, are the ones who are.
Mind you, if he didn't waste money on WWE Champions and DoorDash and Total Wine and buying a second condo when he already had a condo in Connecticut, he'd be a millionaire. He would be a millionaire. He's made roughly a little over $2.2 million that we know of. That's not counting his, Best Buy, bank, or the helicopter job. This is strictly what we've been able to calculate, or others have calculated, not me. What other detractors have calculated over the years. He's made roughly $2.2 million. And yet when we had the bank leaks, he had what, $17 in his account? How do you make $2.2 million and have $17 sitting in your bank account? DSP, you take that $250,000 you spent on Gotcha over the years, you take $50,000 you spent on Total Wine and DoorDash you didn't need to spend on. Oh gee, there's $300,000. You could have paid off your Washington condo, owned it outright, saving yourself over $1,000 a month every month. Do it, Roachbait. Or let's say he doesn't move to Washington. So that is years of him not paying on the Connecticut condo and Washington condo, HOA fees in Connecticut and in Washington, utility bills in Connecticut and in Washington, and of course the $10,000 plus that he spent on moving alone, not just the house, but taking everything from Connecticut to Washington, buying new furniture. Imagine all that money comes back to him. You're easily over $500,000 extra. With that $500,000, obviously you pay off the Connecticut condo, you pay off the Toyota Corolla early so you don't have to pay interest on it. You're up $500,000 at least. And, he should have rented a Connecticut condo, but he's a dumbass. And it was only $131,000 in credit card debt, dude. You're exaggerating, claiming it was $500,000 or $250,000, dude. Can you imagine having an extra $500,000 in your bank account with your condo paid off? Connecticut condo is paid off, clear and full. He no longer has to make those payments anymore. And he has $500,000 more to his name. He goes out, he gets booze on his own without having it delivered. He picks up fast food on his way back from the liquor store without having to have it delivered. Saving himself thousands of dollars a year. Instead, moving when he did nothing. It's not like because he's like, oh guys, they have tournaments and stuff and they have gaming conventions in Seattle and in Bridgeport. But he didn't go to those. He didn't do anything with those. He literally went to Seattle, sat down in that office, and then never left. He's done nothing since getting into that office. He never went to tournaments. He never went to conventions. He never went to concerts or anything. He did nothing. He sat down, turned on the webcam, and started begging, and that's it. Yeah, exactly, Ronnie. It healed his back, dude. Oh, Ronnie, they're resetting the ladder on Diablo 2. So, if you want to do Necromancer, I do Paladin. I use like the Might or the Fanaticism or to boost your skeletons and all that. Could be fun to do once they reset the ladder. There's no state tax, but they got a business tax. I'm not a business. By the way, guys, this controller doesn't cost me anything. It's a business expense. Guys, I can buy whatever games I want. They're all business expenses. Why do I gotta pay a business tax, guys? It's not a business. Gee, DSP. I wonder why they expect you to pay a business tax after you wrote off how many things as business expenses in that state? Well, that's another thing. He stays in Connecticut. He sticks with the Connecticut tax accountant, attorney, professor. Gee, suddenly, he doesn't run into the state business tax, back tax arc. He doesn't end up owing tens of thousands of dollars to back-ack taxes to the IRS. Suddenly, not only does he own his condo, not only does he have an extra $500,000 in his bank account, but he has no tax issues. His tax guy that was friends with his dad has helped him over the years. He's tax debt free. Oh, don't get me wrong. He does a marathon every year to pay his back-ack taxes. Guys, in 2019, you guys were really generous, and now I know the IRS more money. Well, guys, thank you for paying me all that money. I can pay my taxes now. But then again, maybe that doesn't happen, because if he doesn't do Gotcha, he doesn't do DoorDash, he doesn't do Total Wine, again, he has all the money in the world to pay his back taxes and all that. So he doesn't have a back tax payment plan. It's paid for. He's done. He's cool.
We're like, oh, I don't have enough to pay for stuff this week. They're so filthy rich, they'll never not have enough to pay for stuff this week. So they don't care, but they don't want to incite a panic. They don't want people to lose trust in the system. They want to save a buck, and that's all they care about. It's both sides of the aisle. Both Democrats and Republicans have been lying about this kind of stuff for the absolute longest time. So that's what I mean. Like, they don't care about inflation. They don't care. But so hide the problems and just say business as usual. The system works. Everything's great. Now, listen, you may hear me and say that I'm jaded and I want everything to burn down the system. No, I'm not saying that. But I do feel like we do need to have some kind of change in this country. We need to have.
I say, yeah, $150,000 a year, because calculated was 128 was his worst. But now that we know that he was getting more from ad revenue than we expected because of the bank leaks, yeah, $150,000 is his worst year. He's not the 99%. He's top 10% at this point. But guys, I'm just like you.
A shift in our political system, so it's not the same exact class of people.
You're the one who called him
controlling
jaded.
everything forever.
Nice.
We can't just have the ultra rich controlling everything for every person because they don't even know what it's like to be a normal person. They're living in another existence of affluence and protection. They fail up. They actually make mistakes and get rewarded for them.
They fail up. DSP, when's the last time you had to work an actual job? That's right, it's been over a decade since you worked a real job. You have sat on your ass playing video games for over a decade.
The mistakes and get wealthier. How can we have those people in power forever? How would they ever have any connection to reality where they can help out? How can you be a public servant to someone you don't even relate to? I'm just saying, I think that we need to have a change. Things like this, we have outright evidence that the numbers they're telling us in the news, this is reported on the news, inflation is now 2-point-something%. Then why, when I go to the store, is everything a third more expensive? It doesn't make sense. You are lying. You're fudging the numbers using selective statistics to make us not panic.
Well, that's a good question. What job would you want him to fail at? Watch him fail at. Bricklayer. Can you imagine? You gotta make him go out there and lay bricks. But my back can't handle this, guys. I can barely walk. Help!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We have, okay, I think we're going to go into our finale. I have one major segment and a minor segment to end the show, because I do want to try to end it around 9 p.m.-ish. I received a generous tip of $30. Very nice. Thank you, whoever this is. Let me play an animation, and then I'm going to read what they have a big statement to make here. Where? $30 tip. Thank you. Oops, I misclicked. No. Okay. A $30 anonymous tip. That's the biggest tip of the show. It's the $92 to support, guys. Again, we only have about 30 minutes left on the show. So please support the show. Let's hit the goal tonight and continue the streak. Okay, listen to this. In the first episode, you said you're not fond of Trump nor Harris. You also said that while Sanders sometimes says things that you very much agree with, you wouldn't really consider yourself a fan. Nice if it would scroll. Of him either, due to his ultra-liberal stances. The reason you gave it the time for disagreeing with the stances came down to the fact that someone always has to pay for it. The money has to come from somewhere.
Here's an old clip of DSP from 2015.
It really is. It's hilarious to listen to this.
Hopefully you can hear it. I know it's a little quiet.
Stupid shit. But then again, that might be why he's running, because he realizes that people will vote for someone just because he says moronic things. And that's why I back Donald Trump. By the way, I'm kidding. I don't back Donald Trump. If he gets elected, I might leave. But anyway, here we go.
That's right. If he gets elected, I might leave. Gee, DSP, what happened to that?
This is very true, and I want to point out that Sanders has presented a solution. The 1%, and particularly the 0.001%, should pay a lot more than they do currently. That's where the money can easily come from. The ultra-rich are currently hoarding an obscene amount of wealth. This is something that you've even alluded to on your podcasts. I don't like the golden parachute. I don't know the details of Sanders' plans, but this sounds reasonable for solving this problem to me. Shouldn't Elon Musk, of all people, be forced to actually benefit society? Just saying. Well, FYI, I watched a video a few months ago on my now retired React show, okay? And that video explained that the ultra-rich actually pay less taxes than most normal people. And here's why. They take their money and they put their money into these investments that don't get taxed until they actually take money out of it. But they just never take the money out. They take all of this money, they put it into the investment. Then that investment sits there untouched. They never pay tax on it. But because they now have accumulated wealth, they can go to a bank and say, here's my assets. And the bank says, oh, great, let's lend you money. And they'll lend the money and they'll use the lent money to go spend to do things with. Then they make profit on what they're doing and they pay back the lent money and they literally never pay tax. And that's what all the rich people are doing. They literally are all taking this affluence they have, putting it into these accounts where they make money on it, but they don't ever get taxed on it. And then they just borrow and make more money. So they never have to pay tax at all. So someone like Bernie Sanders looks at the situation and says, this system's broken. How is it that an average person in America, the average freaking person,
you're not average, DSP, and you don't pay your taxes,
is earning money and has to pay a third of their income, which is roughly what it is. It's different for different people in different kind of jobs, but it's about a third of your income has to go straight to the feds. Okay? Why is it that they have to do that, but not the ultra-rich? The ultra-rich, because they're rich, have things that they can invest in, and then they're just rich forever. It's not fair. It's a broken system. If they can do it, I should be able to do it too. Why can't I take my money and invest it into that and do it? Because I don't have money. Because I'm not ultra-rich.
You do have money. You have made, again, over $2.2 million calculated. And then again, that's not counting the office job at the helicopter company or Best Buy or the bank. That is literally just from YouTube, Blip, Twitch, Kick, $2.2 million. Guys, I don't have any money. Yeah, because you spent it all, jackass.
You need to be ultra rich to be tax free. Does that make sense? Why would the people who make the most money not have to pay taxes, but the people who make less have to pay all the...
Because it's a loophole. Or another loophole that they've done in the past, although I think it doesn't work anymore because of interest rates. Anyways. Hi, I'm a fucking billionaire. Well, at least my company is. I'm going to borrow money. Alright, I borrowed $2 million from this bank. I then go to this bank and say, hey, I need to borrow $3 million. So when I pay off that $2 million with the $3 million I got, I still have $1 million left over. Yay! It's some weird system like that. But I think because of interest rates changing, they don't do that as much anymore. At least not to the amounts that they used to do. Dang interest rates, guys. The interest rates are fucking me, guys.
All the taxes. So Bernie's idea is no, change the system, tax the rich. But there's a problem with that. Guess who controls the system? The ultra rich. They're the ones in power. They're the ones who are the lawmakers. They're the ones who are in Congress, the House of Representatives, the Senate, the House of Representatives. The president is ultra rich. Every president. There has never been a president that wasn't ultra rich. The entire
Jimmy Carter.
Judicial branch, all them, the Supreme Court justices, they're all ultra rich. Everyone's ultra rich. Oh, by the way,
depending on your definition of ultra rich, Jimmy Carter was not ultra rich. Abraham Lincoln was not ultra rich. Dwight D. Eisenhower was not ultra rich. Truman, LBJ, Teddy Roosevelt wasn't, I don't think. But again, it depends on your... If you're saying, oh, hey, they're top 1% of 1%, yeah, a lot of presidents were not top 1% of 1%. I mean, just top 1%, 90% of them were not in the top 1%. I mean, some of the earlier ones, like, oh, hey, no, they were plantation owners. They had the farms. They had the slaves. Yeah, they were pretty wealthy. But they weren't top. They weren't Rockefeller money rich. Depending on your definition of ultra rich, there's maybe been 2 or 3 that qualify under ultra rich.
they're all in the pockets of
I mean, I do love
all
conspiracy
of these
theories.
corporations because of lobbying.
In fact, I have multiple
So the
videos on
corporations
here
pay
about
them
conspiracy
to do
theories with
things that benefit the
GTG.
corporations. So you again have an entire class of people who rule over us, but we pretend like it's a democratic system. Oh, well, we voted them in. Well, did you have a choice to vote for someone who wasn't
Let's say
ultra rich?
Grover Cleveland wasn't ultra rich.
I rest my case.
Did they have money?
didn't.
Yes, but they
The people
were
who are not
ultra rich.
don't stand a chance.
Were
to
they
ever be elected.
Rockefeller rich?
You have to be
No.
ultra rich to be in power in this country, and those people will never change the system to not benefit the ultra rich. If they did, they'd actually be a public servant. They'd actually be what a politician was originally intended to be in the inception of our government. But we haven't had real politicians for a while, at least in my opinion. What we've had is people who pretend to be the role, but instead they're wealth gatherers. That's literally what they're doing. They're just
It was Q from
rallying everything
QAnon.
up. Wealth for me, wealth for me, wealth for me, none for you. But I'll pretend to be your buddy. I'll pretend to be your friend. I'll pretend that I'm a public servant, but in reality, they're not. So that's what's, in my opinion, what's happened. Now, Bernie Sanders, listen. Some things I agree with him on, some things I don't. I think that the guy, sadly, is very, very off the deep end when it comes to his ultra-liberal ideas. He wants everyone to have everything for free. And I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that everyone should just get everything for free.
Not free. Stop using our taxpayer money for stupid shit. Tesla gets billions of taxpayer dollars to do what? Why does a Tesla car cost $80,000 when its technology was designed and built and whatever around taxpayer money? Why are we using taxpayer money to pay? Now, I was like, oh, well, they were giving cocaine to pregnant rats. Yes, they're trying to see the effects of cocaine on fetuses. And then what happens when those fetuses are born and turn into babies. Now, you can either A, kidnap women, inject them with cocaine and see what happens. Or you test on rats to see what happens. And then maybe, just maybe, learn something about, oh, hey, these are the main side effects of someone addicted to cocaine when they give birth. Here's how you treat those side effects on those babies. So that way, when a woman addicted to cocaine gives birth to a baby and the baby has side effects, we know how to treat it. We know the best ways, the easiest ways, the least expensive ways to treat that baby. So, they spent $200,000 giving cocaine to rats. Yes. That explains Andy Worski, yes. Yes, they did spend $200,000 giving cocaine to rats. But because of that, we now know when a woman has a horrible addiction to cocaine, when she gives birth to a baby and that baby has side effects, we know what those side effects are most likely going to be. And how to treat those side effects. So maybe that baby, once it's taken away from the mother and given treatment, put into the system, maybe it'll get adopted. And maybe because we knew the side effects and we knew how to treat those side effects, that baby will grow on to grow up and have a regular life, a fulfilling life. A life that they get to live because we spent $200,000 on giving rats cocaine. But then you have the Pentagon failing 7 audits in a row, and hey, where's this $4.7 trillion? I wonder, where did that $4.7 trillion go? Area 51 and the technology we don't even know of. The technology we know about, like, oh, the new B-21? Whatever new B-2 stealth thing is, that it's way more advanced than what we had before. That's just what we know about. And that technology is probably at least a decade old. That technology that we know about is probably at least a decade old. So what technology do they have that they haven't told us about? $20,000 for a toilet seat, $35,000 for a hammer. Independence Day, classic. If you've never seen the movie Independence Day with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, watch it. It is one of the greatest movies ever fucking made. So gee, maybe we got some of that $4.7 trillion back and we put it towards treatment for infants that have cocaine addiction because their mom had cocaine addiction. Maybe we have a better chance of, oh hey, instead of only a third of them being able to grow up and have successful lives, now 2/3 will grow up to have a successful life because we took money from the $4.7 trillion we can't explain where it went and spent it on that. Just saying. I know I'd rather my money go towards helping infants that are born with addiction to cocaine and side effects from that rather than $20,000 for a toilet seat, $35,000 for a hammer. Although, I will admit, being able to go, oh, that's a cute jet, and we shot out of the sky. But your jet's not even over the right, like your jet literally cannot see our jet. Yeah, but we have a satellite that can see your jet. A satellite sent the coordinates to this jet, so this jet was able to fire a missile at your jet when your jet can't even see it because it's over the horizon. Like that's not a joke. Again, this technology is probably 10 years old at this point. We have way more advanced by now that we don't know about. But no, they made it that those Top Gun, the dog fights in the air and all that, those are going to be a thing of the past, at least for American jets. Because our jets can literally be so far away that you can't see it over the horizon. Like, there is no eye-to-eye sight. Their radars don't see it. Not because of stealth, but because they're literally so far away that they can't pick them up on radar because they're so far away. And we can still fire a missile from there and hit their jet because our satellite in space is transmission of technology and all that. Like, we don't even need to be on the map. We can be flying over Greenland and fire a missile and take out a jet in Iraq. I don't know if the missiles have that kind of range, but you know what I'm saying. Like, we have technology because of that $4.7 trillion that the Pentagon can't explain where it went. That can do that. And that is, again, just the technology we know about. Imagine the technology that they're testing at Area 51 and at other sites that we don't even know about. Like, Area 51 is a top secret base that everyone knows about. What are they testing at top secret bases we don't know about? That cost $4.7 trillion to operate. What technology are we working on that we won't know about until 20 years from now when that technology is 10 years old and outdated and they already have something better? So yeah, there is a lot of waste with the government, Pentagon being one of them. But we have the benefit of, oh no, we just had to declare war on China and all their jets were shot out of the sky. Well, our jets are flying over Hawaii, take off from a Hawaiian airport, fire the missiles, land back down. 3 hours later, oh hey, China just lost all of their fucking planes because we blew them up. China has no idea what the fuck happened. Where the fuck did these missiles come from? There's nothing in the sky. Yeah, because they launched from the airport, fired the missiles, and landed already. Like, it is insane the technology that we know about. So just imagine the technology we don't. America. USA. USA. Alright, guys, we need a USA. USA. USA chant in chat. The lasers of Hawaii. Oh, yeah, one of our battleships or aircraft carriers now has a laser gun on it. They don't call it a laser gun. It's a high-powered impact, whatever. They got a fancy name for it, but it's a fucking laser gun. We got laser guns that can shoot the ICBMs out of the sky or whatever. It's like, wow, China or Russia or North Korea spent all this money on ICBMs to finally be able to launch their own nukes. Congratulations, we can shoot them out of the sky with lasers. Came from Area 51, you know it. Any coincidence that, oh hey, Area 51 happens, 10 years later, we've advanced our technology by 100 years. We went from the Wright brothers taking off at North Carolina beach, going to 30 feet, whatever, before landing again, to landing on the moon in 66 years. And when did we have our great jump? After Area 51. Again, I'm a huge conspiracy fucking nerd. And that is one of my conspiracies that I love. Area 51, Area 51, Area 51. I'm all over that shit.
I think that there's people who have to work to earn things. Okay? And the way that his philosophy is like, just give everything away. But if you do that, who's going to pay for it? Someone has to. Nothing can just be given away without having someone else pay for it. I definitely believe we need to have a more fair system. Our system right now is not fair. It's not, the responsibility is not put enough upon the right people. If someone is ultra rich, they
you don't pay your taxes, shut the fuck up.
Should have to pay taxes, period. They shouldn't have ways to shelter all their wealth from tax. It shouldn't exist. But those systems were created by the ultra rich. So, of course, those systems will be in place endlessly unless somehow we change our government so the ultra rich aren't making the laws. You know, how will you ever have a change? Right? Okay. Let's continue. Actually, this next one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
This is the PETA one.
By the way, I received a $2 tip. The last real public servant politician we had was JFK, and then they murdered him. I'm not a scholar on JFK. Perhaps I will have to look further into it. Certainly, there have been quite a lot of people, right?
Oh. Please, DSP. Please get into the JFK conspiracy theory. Oh, my nipples would get so hard if he tried to get into the JFK conspiracy theories. Oh, please, DSP, please get into that.
Right? Quite a lot of people over the years who have had that conspiracy, right? That JFK actually was trying to be a true public servant, and the people in power didn't want that, so they got rid of him. They offed him. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if, at this point, I don't think we're actually going to have an answer. It's been so long, right? There you go. Okay. All right. Are we ready? All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Shut the fuck up. JFK was murdered by Nixon. RFK, murdered by Nixon. Realizing, oh, hey, I can't do the exact same modus operandi on Ted Kennedy, paid a woman to drug him to have him die in a car accident, but he lived because of so many years of drug and alcohol abuse. The drugs that he was given wasn't enough to take him out, and so he lived. That is my conspiracy theory. Nixon realized he could never beat JFK. And once JFK started his 2 terms, he knew he would never be able to beat RFK. And when his 8 years done, he knew he would never be able to beat Ted Kennedy. He knew it was going to be at least 24 years of Kennedys, of Democrats in office. He knew they would never be able to beat that, and so bumped off JFK. And then RFK. And then realizing, oh hey, modus operandi of random assassins showing up from out of nowhere and killing these guys for absolutely zero reason that makes sense isn't going to work. paid a woman to drug Ted Kennedy, to have him bumped off in a car accident. But again, years of drug and alcohol abuse meant the drugs he was given wasn't enough to take him out. But the person that was paid to kill him died with it. Again, I know that's a huge conspiracy theory. Very little to no evidence on it. Again, I know that there's absolutely zero evidence to back any of that up, obviously. Why it's a conspiracy theory and not conspiracy fact. But yeah, for me, it all goes back to Nixon. Nixon had an enemies list. People on Nixon's enemies list just happened to die in random accidents. But the president, and then his brother, and then his other brother, were probably too well protected for oh no, they fell down the stairs, got up, and then fell down the next flight of stairs, and then got up and fell down the third flight of stairs before their neck finally broke. And so he had them bumped off other ways. But again, 100% conspiracy theory, no real proof other than, to me, it makes sense that a guy who bumped off people on his enemies list would bump off more enemies. He did, Mizra, he did.
I think it's time for a little bit of comic relief. We've got a nice show, almost 2 hours now. I think it's time to have a good laugh. So this week, once again, we're continuing on with this pattern of celebrities who cannot handle that Donald Trump won the U.S. presidential election. They can't handle it.
DSP played this earlier. Let's play it again.
It really is. It's hilarious to listen to this complete buffoon say stupid shit. But then again, that might be why he's running, because he realizes that people will vote for someone just because he says moronic things. And that's why I back Donald Trump. By the way, I'm kidding. I don't back Donald Trump. If he gets elected, I might leave. But anyway, here we go.
He gets elected, he might leave.
All right, and so they are coping and seething all over the globe. I literally mean this. They are actually coping and seething all over the globe. This week, over in Italy, there was this big film awards, film festival, all this stuff was going on. And all these very left-leaning celebrities were there talking about the results of the U.S. election. And the one particular that I want to talk about tonight, that a lot of news outlets covered, is Sharon Stone, American actress.
Oh, that's
right? You may know her, you may not.
This is so sexist, misogynistic coming from him. You are going to love this.
She was very popular in the late 80s, all through the 90s, and in the early 2000s. She had some big roles. She even won a big award, all right? So, Sharon Stone, here she is in Italy, accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award, okay, at this film festival or whatever it is, some kind of a big celebration, okay?
Play it again, Sam? All right, we'll play it again.
It really is. It's hilarious to listen to this complete buffoon say stupid shit. But then again, that might be why he's running, because he realizes that people will vote for someone just because he says moronic things. And that's why I back Donald Trump. By the way, I'm kidding. I don't back Donald Trump. If he gets elected, I might leave. But anyway, here we go.
So yeah, so he can say all this shit about these dirty, rotten liberal celebrities when that's his opinion on Donald Trump.
So, it's the Torino Film Festival. That's what it was. She was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award. She didn't mention Donald Trump by name. She appeared to be referencing the president-elect and his supporters while sharing her thoughts on the incoming administration. All right? Let's hear what Sharon Stone has to say.
I think we have to really stop and think about things. And we have to stop and think about who we choose for government. And if, in fact, we are actually choosing our government, or if the government is choosing itself.
Sharon Stone.
Ask me, that sounds like she's talking about the Democrats. After all, what primary did Harris run? Harris didn't run a primary. Biden dropped out, and then they went, all right, I guess it's going to be Harris now. Now, their argument was, well, she was on the ticket in 2020. When people voted, they were voting for Biden and her because her name was on the ticket. So I guess that makes sense. But geez, Sharon Stone saying, hey, did we pick our government or did the government pick it for us? Sounds a lot like people talking about how Harris was picked without any input from the American people. There were no primaries. She was just made the candidate. Second government debunked as far as the authorities are willing to tell us. But again, that's why it's a conspiracy theory. And I love them.
If we are choosing the government, or if the government is choosing itself. Let's continue before I make a comment.
Is speaking out on the post-election climate in the U.S. The Oscar nominee didn't hold back at the Torino Film Festival in Italy on November 24th, where she was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Though Stone did not mention Donald Trump by name, she appeared to be referencing the president-elect and his supporters while sharing her thoughts on the incoming administration.
You know, Italy has seen fascism. Italy has seen these things. You guys, you understand what happens. You have seen this before. My country is in its adolescence. Adolescence is very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything. Adolescence is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence. We haven't seen this before in our country. So Americans who don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, who are uneducated, are in their extraordinary naivete.
According to the State Department, 51% of Americans hold a valid passport as
Oh, wait. Oh,
Only 51%? Damn. Mind you, I haven't left the country in years. I haven't been to Canada in years. Even I have a passport. Only 51% of the people have a passport? Holy shit. But then again, in a country like America, America is so large. If you want to see something, there's plenty of sites to see in America. Hey, no problem, William. It's always good to ask questions. Which is what being a conspiracy theorist is all about. Asking questions, looking at videos and going, but this is what they've released. What haven't they released? Or like, for like people that believe in the moon landing was being faked. I argue it couldn't have been. Because if it had been faked, the Soviets would have gone nuts. The Soviets were tracking it. The Soviets were waiting for a fuck up. So they'd be like, oh, look at those stupid Americans. They fucked up. But then we did it. If we hadn't landed on the moon, Russia. It would have been in every newspaper in the world. Americans fuck up. Americans cover up. Americans fake moon landing. And here's our proof of it. And so, yes, I've seen the evidence for the moon landing being faked. But my main argument to that is Russia. 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 They never would have let us live it down that we couldn't go to the moon. That we went, we're going to the moon. This is the day we go to the moon. This is the year we go to the moon. And then we didn't go. The Soviet Union would have rubbed our noses in it forever. So yes, I am a conspiracy theorist, but also, you can argue both ways. It's so much fun. You can argue that Lee Harvey Oswald was just a lone gunman with a grudge on his shoulder who did something really fucking stupid. Chip Enos went into space? Ooh, well, happy anniversary to you. I know you are long dead. I love conspiracy theories because it's all about asking questions and looking for answers. And then going, that's the stupid thing I've ever heard. I don't accept that answer. The government's wrong. The government's lying to us.
burn. Ooh. Access Hollywood with a sick burn against Sharon Stone. Damn, they didn't have to say that. They could have just let it go. They're like, no, we got to call her out on this one. They immediately got her. Boom, fact check. You don't know what you're talking about. Wow.
as of October.
They said 51%. That means 49% of the country don't have passports, which means they don't travel outside the country, DSP. They have supported her. How did you think that was a burn on her? They literally came out and supported what she said. Yeah, that's the other conspiracy theory Arizona made gamer. That it was Ted Cruz's dad was one of them. Or the other one is Woody Harrelson's father was a hitman. And he was supposedly in Dallas that day. I mean, it could have just been a complete total coincidence that a known hitman was in Dallas that day, that a known hitman was in the area that day. So, just saying. I'm saying, DSP is one of them. He could not afford an unexpected $500 bill, which is why Jasper doesn't get the $300 blood work.
Here, Stone publicly supported Kamala Harris in the election.
What? She did? I never would have suspected.
And her latest comments come months after she told Deadline that she was considering a move to Europe in light of the political tension in.
Oh, she's considering a move to Europe. That sounds familiar. It sounds like something we talked about last week, but, you know, I just can't seem to remember. It's only the most viewed clip of the show from last week, right?
the States. Her remarks at the Torino event were in response to a question about the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and the actress went on to explain how honorable men should step up to make sure women aren't waging this issue alone.
The only way that we can help with these issues is to help each other. Now, we can't just say that women should help women, because that's the only way we have survived so far. We must say that good men must help good men.
So you're not going to get any help from
those good
DSP.
men must be very aware that a lot of your friends are not good men. And you can't continue to pretend that your friends are good men when they are not good men. And you must be very clear-minded and understand that your
Clear-minded. I love how she said it that way.
friends who are not good men are dangerous, violent men. And you have to keep them away from your daughters, your wives, and your girlfriends. Because this is a time when we can no longer look away when bad men are bad.
Okay. So, Sharon Stone weighing in. Right? Well, first of all, it's funny because she's saying this while she's in Italy. You know what I mean? Like, she's literally over there in Italy to say this at a Torino film festival. You know, I mean, she could be saying it here, which she probably has, admittedly, right? She probably has. And she's not the only one. Like the Baldwins, I think Alec Baldwin was over there saying similar things and stuff like that. All right? So to be quite frank, it's not just her. It's just that she's one of the big ones that everyone was talking about this week. Did you hear what she said about basically Americans are uneducated. They don't understand what it's like to have a dictator. And so they, you know, that's why they voted for Trump. All right. So first off, before I even respond, I'm a little curious, I don't know. I'm trying to refresh my memory here. Sharon Stone, she received a Lifetime Achievement Award over at the Torino Film Festival. Sharon Stone got a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Torino Film Festival. I want to refresh my memory on Sharon Stone's filmography. So in the 80s, where she got her start, she had a bunch of films no one ever heard of. Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, she had a role. Okay, Action Jackson, right? And then her first big break really was Total Recall. If you recall, she played...
Let's see. She was in Orville Peck and Beck, Dead Valley High music video. She was in What About Love, Rita Ora, You Only Love Me music video. She was on Saturday Night Live from 1992 to 2023. Ibrahim Malouf, Our Flag music video. She was in Beauty. She was in The Flight Attendant, a TV series. Coach and Cabana Devotion video. Slot Mania, Captain Slotostar, Lenscrafters Because Sight video, Murderville TV series, Here Today, Ratched, another TV series, Desert Rose video, The New Pope. Man, she's been in a lot of stuff. The Laundromat, Rolling Thunder Review, Better Things, The Cold Open, Smart Tonic, Mosaic, Disaster Artist, All I Wish, Aflu, Chin Chin, Progressive, right, Running Wild, Aflu, Win Win, Airfield, Fashion is the Love Story, Mothers and Daughters, Airfield, Le Papillon, Aflu, French, don't know, Agent X TV series, Warrior's Tale, Life on the Line, Love in Vegas, Scorsese's Women, A Golden Boy, Love in Vegas. That's the past 10 years. That is just 10 years. The past 10 years. And it goes on and on and on. Yeah, all the way to 1978 when she was in a Grease Live on Broadway video. So yeah, she's had a lifetime in Hollywood. She's been in Hollywood over 40 years. She was born in 1958. Dang. She's over 60 years old. Looking damn good for a 60-year-old. Or for a woman in her 60s.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in that. A small role. Her big break, where everyone talks about, her most distinctive role ever that she ever did in Hollywood, where she was nominated for a whole bunch of awards. She didn't win any, by the way. She didn't win any major stuff for this, but she was nominated for a whole bunch. Was Basic Instinct. Anyone remember this movie?
What did you win, DSP? Oh, that's right. You finished 4th place at Evo. You never fucking won. So let's see. Let's look Stone Awards. Oh, ho, ho. She has won awards. Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in Movie Casino. Glamour Woman of the Year Award. Primetime Creative Arts Emmy Award. MTV Movie Award for Best Female Performer. MTV Movie Award for Most Desirable Female. GLAAD Media Vanguard Award. Satellite Ad Award for Actress in Supporting Role. Hollywood Movie Award. Like, she's won. Yeah, for the Casino. Intersection and The Specialist. And then The Specialist. Basic Instinct. Bobby. Basic Instinct. The Practice Season 8. Mosaic. Silver. Intersection and The Specialist. Again. So yeah, she's won awards. She's won awards, DSP. Unlike you.
In this movie, she basically plays a sociopath who messes with people's emotions. And the only reason that anyone remembers her in this movie is because in the movie, she crosses her legs and shows off her private parts. I wish that was a joke. I'm not kidding you. That's literally Sharon Stone's claim to fame, is spreading her legs in an R-rated movie, and you could see her downstairs area. Okay?
Her
now,
downstairs area.
Her filmography.
Are you 12? Her downstairs area, guys. You could see it. Yeah, you'd be able to see your wife's downstairs area if you ever had sex with her.
She went on to try to be a leading woman in other movies, and she got the Raspberry Award for Worst Actress, but she also got the Most Desirable Female Award, okay? Again, Raspberry Award for Worst Actress, but Most Desirable Female Award. I'm starting to see a pattern here, okay? Literally throughout her career. Most of the time when she ever got noticed was not for her acting.
Flower from the wet spot.
It was for her body. Not for her mind or her talent, but because she had boobs and a butt, right? Continuing on, she did actually get an award for Casino. So good on her for winning Golden Globe Best Actress. Actually, no, she was nominated. She didn't win. I thought she won. Oh, I guess she didn't win. Okay? So she was good in Casino. But then Raspberry Award. Should I keep going? Raspberry Award. This is in 2004. Raspberry Award for Basic Instinct 2 when they finally made a sequel like a decade later. And then basically since then, do you remember her being in any of these? Do you ever remember any of these movies? The Fading Gigolo. Oh, man, when I remember when she played that Dr. Parker Award in Fading Gigolo, it really touched my heart, and it's just one of the best performances I've ever heard.
I didn't say Sean Dog.
This is her filmography, her latest movies. What about Love? Yeah, what about it? Did you see this one? I didn't. Beauty Here Today. So the point I'm making here is, this is a woman whose career was based on like a 5-year period where the only thing she was known for.
And your career was based on
her legs in an R-rated
finishing
movie
4th at Evo.
and then having a body. This, not even being a good actress, not even, you know. But now she's going to go over to the Torino Film Festival in Italy, and she's going to lecture us all on our intelligence level. Like she's some fucking brainiac, pariah. I know everything about politics. I know better than you. You're all dumb and immature. But I know all about world history and how fascism works and how Trump...
I wonder, what school did she go to? Because she is college educated. You know, kind of like how DSP is, but you know, a real college that Daddy didn't have to do all her homework at. What college did Sharon Stone go to? Penwith, Edinburgh. But what was her degree in? I wonder what her degree was in. Creative Writing Scholarship. Nice. At 15. She was admitted to the college on a Creative Writing Scholarship at age 15. Holy shit. Ah, she's only known for her looks. She doesn't have any smarts or talent. Gee, DSP, did you get all expenses paid, scholarship, whatever, to college at the age of 15? No? Well, then she's clearly smarter than you are, fucker.
Trump is really a dictator.
Like I said, this whole thing's going to be very sexist and
hold on, let me cross
misogynistic.
my legs again and try to make another $1 million, right? What the fuck are you talking about? Are you insane? Who are these Hollywood people who have done nothing, literally nothing, to earn their popularity, their fame, their money? Flash in the pan bullshit. They gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award when she only was in like 4 good movies. And even then, she was just known as the attractive female in said movies. She wasn't even a good actress. But you're going to lecture me about politics in 2024 like you have any pertinence to anything on this planet? No! Sharon Stone, you're the same as Ellen DeGeneres last week. You think you know better than everyone because you're rich and famous. But in reality, you don't.
And she got into college on a scholarship at the age of 15. Unlike you. You had to change majors in college because, oh no, my daddy doesn't know anything about computers. I got to change the business major because my daddy knows stuff about that. My daddy would be able to do my homework again. I would, if you asked me to put money on it, I would put money on his dad did his homework. His dad did his homework in high school. Because think about it. Daddy spends all that money to send his boy to a very nice private high school. And then, yeah, they asked me to read a book. I don't know words. It has all these really big words in it, Dad. I don't know big words. I only know small words like buy me toys and Wolverine. And so, his dad did his homework for him. And being a diploma mill for athletes, his daddy doing his homework for him was all that he needed.
Live with the rest of us. You don't see the struggles. You don't feel the problem.
So again, when you went to college and you couldn't do the work because
you're ultra rich
dad
for
did all his
no
work for him
reason.
back in high
You
school.
never earned it. But now you think you're above all of us. I'm so much smarter than the American populace. If that's the case, if you think...
And here's the thing. DSP could have spent a minute on Google. Be like, right, well, she's acting so smart. Why does she think she's so smart? Oh, she got a full scholarship to college at the age of 15. Huh. You know what? She might just be a little smart. Might just be a little smarter than I am. Or in DSP's case, a lot fucking smarter. Oh, who am I kidding? She's a lot smarter than I am, too. What the heck is up with these spicy pickle chips?
You're so smart. Leave. Go with your friend Ellen, and you can live in the same house together, too. How about that? How about we have a big house of celebrities who can't take it? They're coping and seething so badly because Trump won the election, and they think they're so much smarter than the average American that they just leave. Please go ahead and leave the country and leave us normal humans alone. We don't need you. In fact, you know what? Why don't you stay over there in Italy and don't come back? Okay. All right, folks.
What
so
a
now it's
mature
time
doll.
for the grand finale. Okay. This is going to be the final story of the night. And I urge you once again, if you want to see the streak to continue to contribute, I'm not sure, honestly, what happened tonight.
Hint,
Tonight, as you can see, attendance was way down and support. I'm shocked that we didn't hit the goal. It would be great if we could in the last chance here to do so. And again, you could do that either by tipping, by becoming a sub, or gifting subs to your fellow viewer. Last chance to do so because this is going to be our final story of the night. Okay? And this is a funny one. This is going to be comedy, trust me. Okay. Okay, ready? So, ladies and gentlemen, you might not know or be aware of PETA. Or is it PETA? I think it's PETA, right?
It's
And
PETA.
what they
Not,
they're
where are
an
you getting
organization
PETA from?
that is
What the
100%
fuck?
pro animals, okay? What they want is they want people to leave animals alone. They don't want people to hunt animals. They don't want people to eat animals. They don't want people to skin animals for their fur. They basically want people to completely disassociate from animals and leave them alone. All right? Now, personally, I'm not saying that I think that people treat animals fairly at all. I do think that, sadly, there are some people who go extreme. You know, you see these stories of people going to Africa and doing big game hunts against, you know, rare animals and creatures, and they're hunting them down. The guy posing in front of the elephant with a big gun and everything. It's like, why did he murder the elephant? What did that elephant do to him? You know, I believe in hunting where it's legal, where it should be allowed, population control, things like that. I am totally a carnivore. I'm okay with beef and chicken and all of this. You know what I mean? As long as it's done in the right way. And, you know, I get it. Listen, we're humans and we have resources around us and we use them to survive, right? PETA is totally against all of that, right? They're like, you should never, ever have any benefit whatsoever at the expense of any animal. And PETA, it just keeps ramping up the levels that they talk about this. We actually just saw recently in a video that I watched on one of my final react shows that they were against a version of Super Mario Brothers because Mario wears a tanuki suit. And they actually show like a raccoon whose skin has been ripped off, dripping in blood, chasing Mario, trying to get its skin back, saying that Mario is wearing animal fur and that's bad and that shouldn't be in the video game. I mean, keeping in mind that it's a mystical creature with...
What? A tanuki is a raccoon dog. Once again, Japanese raccoon dog, a tanuki. It is not a mystical creature. DSP, holy shit, you really think the Japanese raccoon dog is a mystical creature? You think it's like a unicorn, or chupacabra, or a nice South African? How many people are going to get that joke? Holy shit, you think a tanuki is not real? What the fuck?
With magical powers. It's a fantasy game. It's not even based in reality. But that's how extreme PETA goes to try to say their agendas. They just go wild, like way over the top with the stuff that they say and do, okay? I want to show you PETA's Thanksgiving act. But before I do, a couple shout outs, all right? I received a sub here from Retardo555, and then they gifted 2 subs to the community. Well, thank you very much for that. So that's going to be another $15 in support, which means we're now up to 109, and we're on the right track. We're in the right direction. Who's going to do it? Who's going to hit the goal tonight and continue the streak? All right, let's find out. All right, so PETA has released their Thanksgiving campaign. All right? Again, they're supposed to be protecting animals. Now, folks, I need to warn you of something. Graphic content. Incredibly graphic content. Right now, I have to warn you of this. I'm serious. And you might say, oh no, did they show, like, you know, turkeys being inhumanely beheaded and butchered? Gory, right? Blood squirting everywhere.
Because
no, that's not the kind of graphic content I need to warn you about. I'm serious. I need to warn you about a different kind of graphic content. So I'm warning you right now, you might not want to watch this segment. All right? I present to you, unedited, straight from PETA's X account, their own Thanksgiving campaign for 2024. I swear to you, this is real. When you say it out loud, it's clear this norm isn't normal. Hashtag Thanksgiving. Ooh, let's open up those legs and stuff it in all the way. Meanwhile, the kids are saying, ew, gross. What? Prepare yourselves. What the hell? Did you think you would ever see something like that for PETA?
He is part of the SRB, apparently.
That is just wrong. That is just... I don't have to tell you what that looks like. I think you could figure it out for yourself. All right? But I just
I'll
want to
say it's
analyze
actually
this
pretty funny.
because I want you to take a look at this from a few different angles. Oh, wait, not okay. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. All right, maybe not. I don't want you, don't look at that from too many angles. All right, but basically, first of all, just the post. All right, when you say it out loud, it's clear this norm isn't normal. Now, hold on a second. Imagine if you never scrolled down and then you just started looking at the picture, and it's like this norm isn't normal. Wait, what? A woman who's black and a guy who's white together, and they have kids together? Oh, that's not considered normal. What? PETA a bunch of fucking racists? Damn. I
They're
wasn't
trying to
expecting
steal
them to say that.
DSP's
Why would
stick,
PETA
huh?
be like, this isn't normal to have a black woman and a white guy together? That's pretty messed up. I think I need to report them for racism because I think that we need to have some community notes on this post, okay? Just to be honest. That's number one. But then when you scroll down, I mean, what are they thinking? In what household in the United States of America is someone stuffing the Thanksgiving turkey and thinking that it's a private part and talking like this? This is honestly pretty disgusting. And I think we got a bunch of perverts working over at PETA because if they think that this is how the average American
Have you seen like the animal stuff, furry porn stuff that they've posted on PETA? Pretty wild.
makes their dinner, perhaps it means they just never had an actual turkey dinner before. I certainly don't remember my mother or my great aunt stuffing the turkey and talking
Derek
like
Wood.
Okay? Plus, what kind of responsible people would be talking like that when they know that their kids are right there in the house, you know, to walk in at any time and look at their faces. It's like they're deviants. They're disgusting sexual deviants.
Yes, that's the whole point of the cartoon there,
this makes you
DSP.
think of all kinds of stuff about what are these people like, you know, in their normal
They're
life
supposed to
outside
be
of in the kitchen.
deviants.
Ah, no, I don't want to think about things being stuffed. I don't. Oh God. All right. This is their actual campaign. If stuffing a turkey feels wrong, that's because it is. No, stuffing an actual turkey doesn't feel wrong, but your disgusting sexual fantasies around stuffing the turkey sure feel wrong to me. This doesn't say making Thanksgiving dinner is wrong. This says the people that work at PETA are disgusting freaks.
That's a good joke, Dr. FOMO.
I mean, you want to talk about a backfire. So number one, you're racist because this isn't normal to see a mixed race couple apparently in the United States in 2024. And number two, when I'm stuffing my Thanksgiving turkey, I'm having disgusting deviant sexual thoughts. Okay, PETA, 2 thumbs up for you. Wow. Okay. Well, folks, that's it for this week's edition of DSPolitics. I certainly hope that you enjoyed the show. And I just want you to know that next week, I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to do the show because it really depends, but there's a strong chance that I might have Thursday off next week because that's the day of the week that my wife has off of work. And simply because of that, that might be a day that I'm not streaming. So that means I might do this on Wednesday night or I might do it on Friday night. Chances are it's probably going to be Friday night again. All right. So FYI, we might have Friday night politics for a second week in a row. So mark your calendars and remember, it's going to be the earlier time. I noticed distinctly when I started the show, there weren't as many people, but then I actually noticed that more people joined over the course of the stream. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have received
a Hail Mary tip, we know.
A $56 tip from Jared J. And Jared J says the following. As a fan since 2009, I shall not let the king streak end. Let the coins raise.
Random name from a random year. Yeah, totally real and organic. Totally not OIC.
Reign king. $56 tip. Well, this is the first big tip we've had. So you get to see this awesome animation.
I mean, I picked Monday as my day off, so I always get Mondays off, and then the other day off is totally random. This week is Saturday, next week is Friday. So I mean, yeah, next week is Saturday, the week after that is Friday. Last week it was Wednesday, I think. Totally random. Yeah, it's an OIC account.
Thank you so very much. Humbug. Thank you very much, Jared J. And with that $56 tip, we are now at $165, which means, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely, positively official. For the 90th straight stream, we have crushed the goals belted by trolls again. So thank you to everyone here enjoying this new endeavor. I definitely know this is a different kind of show. It's not what I'm normally used to doing. I have been enjoying it.
He can do whatever he wants. It's his schedule.
I will keep my eyes on all the stories this coming week. Try to see what interesting ones we can cover next week. And I thank everyone who has been submitting clips as a member over on DSP Reacts. Remember, if you want to be a part of that, please become a submissions tier member on the DSP Reacts channel. Tonight, I'll be putting up the community post where you can submit clips for next week's show. All right? And that's the best way to submit and to let me know what you're interested in for the week that I should cover on next week's show. All right? But again, FYI, next week, probably it's going to be Friday night again because chances are that I'm going to have Thursday night off. So there you have it. All right, folks? All right. And if you want to see some cool highlights from the show, be sure to check out DSP Reacts over the next couple of days. Tonight, I'm going to clip a bunch of clips out of the show so that people can watch over there, or you can just watch it in its entirety, unedited, here for about a week on the channel. All right, everyone. Thank you so very much. Great, great stream of DSP Politics tonight. Until next time, DSP signing off. All right.
And just like that, guys, the stream's over because he hit the goal. If he hadn't hit the goal yet, he'd be there for another 10 minutes crying and begging.
All right. I stopped recording, but I just realized I don't actually upload that file. I don't know why I signed off like that. So everyone, just so you guys know, I am not here tomorrow. Tomorrow is my weekly day off to run errands and the like, all right? I return on Sunday. Sunday will be a fun podcast, all right? And let me actually double-check my schedule because I keep forgetting my schedule, quite frankly, because it keeps changing on me. It looks like I have Stalker 2 paired with Street Fighter 6 on Sunday. Now, the other thing is that I am getting the adapter for my capture device tomorrow, and I'm also getting a new lighting system tomorrow, and I want to try those. So at some point this week, okay, I have to get
a new lighting system? So you spent more money on something you didn't need. Good to know.
Set up. I have to get that capture device working with my capture streaming PC, and I have to migrate. You know, I have to do all of that. So we will have probably a day or half a day here or there this week where there's not going to be regular gameplay, but I certainly hope that you'll still join me for those segments, for the, you know, for the fun. And we're going to have a dramatic increase in quality. I'm going to have higher stream bit rates on YouTube. We're going to have better quality videos for YouTube. It's going to be a great improvement. I can't wait. It's been a long time coming for me to be able to do this. And again, it's thanks to you and this incredible amount of support that I've been receiving that I can actually
thanks to you giving me all that money.
Thank you very much. All right, but I wish you the best. I hope that you have a safe and fun weekend. Please enjoy your Saturday, and I'll be back Sunday morning for a fun podcast and some Stalker 2. All right, everybody? All right, thank you. Thanks for watching DS Politics. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Peace out, and happy Black Friday, everyone. Have a good night.
Now, he said he's going to have to transfer tomorrow because something happened. So, let's see if he's uploaded that video yet.
Well, hello.
Still hasn't uploaded it yet. You see here, 5 hours ago. Hey, also a bit of an update here. It looks like my timetable to swap to my new capture streaming PC. It's got massively accelerated and not by choice. Make sure video to explain later today, but it looks like Sunday is migration day on stream. Details to come. 5 hours ago. Still no video. Probably got drunk, passed out, and forgot to make the video. Womp womp. Gin is, after all, a hell of a drug. Oh, the square I got on. He doesn't need to upgrade that. Like, that is definitely something he doesn't need to upgrade. So, of course, he wasted money on it. Why wouldn't he? Dumbass. But with that, guys, it is time for me to get ready for bed. I got work tomorrow. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below. And yeah, having that issue with my PC crashing, all that sucks. But thank you again for showing up, and have one hell of a day. Have a great day off tomorrow. After work, I'll be watching football with friends and all that, so no stream, nothing. Terrible. I say he didn't need a capture card either, but he needs the best, guys, like no one ever has. And of course, he could have spent 140 something on a HD 60X like I did, but now he's gonna spend hundreds more on Avermedia or Avermedia, however you want to call it. Alright, I am out. I gotta get shower and all that and get ready for bed. See you guys. This was fun with using my new face rig thingy. I am Donald Trump. Give me Big Macs, or I'll deport you to Canada. The frozen wasteland. With all the penguins and polar bears. Yes, to just be more mediocre. Guys, if you don't give me more Big Macs, I'm gonna have to deport your family. If you don't give me more Big Macs. I need those Big Macs. I really do. I need those Big Macs to fill my stomach. Guys, my wife wants alone time with me. I don't trust her. She might be a Russian spy coming here to kill me. Oh, that's another conspiracy theory. That Melania Trump is an agent of Putin to like keep an eye on Trump and keep him in line. Like, now that's a hell of a theory. But hey, you never know. Alright, I gotta go.